This is the future.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigvalgrim here and welcome to another video. So in this one I'm going to show you my maxed out Confluent Supplement build. And by no means is this a perfect build because look, I got the talents epic but in not the most optimal way being epic. So I could go out of my way and spend around 20 million credits and get the talents a little bit different because there's too much crit damage on those talents to get the perfect outcome, and I could get 290 more on the gears, but I'm not gonna spend that amount of credits and that amount of work for 290 attack. But other than that, he's quite maxed out. As I said, he could have 290 more attack. I'm gonna show you the stats for it, but don't follow this. If you want to build your Confluent Supplement, as I usually say, don't follow the builds that I have because they're not currently perfect. Follow my build guides because that will be in the description, the pinned comment, and that's gonna be the way to go. I got some crit chance on the legendary talent. We're going to look at some legendary talent rolls on this one because I rolled quite a few, like 40 talent reforges on this guy. And this is a beta club build, so this is not going to be a build that most of you are going to do because this has no fast action. So on Confluent Supplement you want to have fast actions because a lot of damage comes from his basic attack hits, but with the beta club you're not going to do a lot of basic attack hits. Also this has lethal because I got some lethal attack damage on the beta club, and at the same time with the beta club dot damage, 10% more on that is still going to be far more worth than 3 attack rolls that I could have gotten instead of this. So yeah, this is how it looks. We're going to take a look at the legendary talent token rolls, then we're going to take a look at the fight in league rates, and then we're going to take a look at the fight in soul rates. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Let's get into it. Okay, so I already had here a legendary crit damage, and honestly, since I got crit chance legendary, I don't think we got too much of an improvement out of that one. I was honestly looking for the lethal attack damage talent. I've never got it in the past, and I'm not even sure it exists at this point, but I've heard there exists a legendary lethal attack damage talent, but I haven't gotten it. As far as the rate at which I'm getting legendary talents, I mean, it's not terrible, but at the same time, considering how hard it is to get those and how much arena I have to play to get some of these, it's not that great. But yeah, the build is gonna stay like this for a while, and I think I'm gonna move on to focusing on other things. Resistance is legendary, would have been great on other characters, but not on Confluent Supplement, sadly. So yeah, that's as far as my legendary reforges go. Okay, now moving on to the fights, we're first gonna look at some fight against Brainiac in phase 1, because this is where the perfectness of your build, let's say, really matters, because in league rates the attack that you have is going to be far more relevant. Like in soul rates, you just need to have the max out percentages because you'll get most of your attack anyway from the soul rate artifact passives, and it's not that impactful. So that if you have that additional, let's say 1 or 2 additional gear rolls of attack. So we're fighting Brainiac here. A little bit of a mistake at the start of the fight because Raven got a little bit damaged, and that might play a role later into the fight. Okay, so we have the Sword of Sin on Raven at level 6, power draining Brainiac and reducing the defense. We have a level 8 Beta Club on Raven, and we have a dead Dr. Fate. We killed our Dr. Fate at the start of the fight because we don't want him alive in phase 2, because he's gonna be a burden to us. Raven back in there, gonna back off special 1. Confluent Supplement back in there, jump attack, special 2. Again, you shouldn't really play it like this unless you have Beta Club. I'm trying to maximize the Beta Club dot damage. That's why I don't have fast actions, because if you look at it, I'm not really doing many basic attacks. But with all blades, that's definitely not gonna be the case. Another special 2 in there, another jump attack, another special 2. Raven back in there. I think this will be enough to actually kill him. So we need to enter phase 2 with Raven as the active character so she can get to applying darkness quite fast. And as far as phase 1 goes, this is one of my better performances in terms of transitioning from phase 1 to phase 2. And now in phase 2 the real test comes. Okay, special 1. Another special 1. We need to get the darkness stacked up as fast as possible. Another special 1. There we go, 3 darkness stacks. King back in there. We got a good tag in there, and special 3 available. That's why we didn't use the special 3 in phase 1, because we want to save the stacks for phase 2. And do a few jump attacks into a special 3. Again, don't do it like this if you don't have Beta Club. That's not optimal for our artifacts. Another special 1 with Raven, 4 darkness stacks, keeping him power drained. 5 darkness stacks. Also keep in mind that my Raven is only 4 stars, so that will quite heavily impact our damage in phase 2. In phase 1 it didn't really matter. Another jump attack. Gonna block a few, another jump attack, gonna block a few, another jump attack. Boy, I know this looks dumb, but trust me, it's the proper way to play, and eventually he gets to using a special one, but that's fine, because I didn't want that done on Raven. Another special one from Raven there. And this was a mistake. I mean, it was not a mistake, but I used the special tree of Raven too soon. That should have been the last thing I used before getting tagged out, so that the duration will last when Raven gets tagged back in. Definitely my mistake here, doing a few jump attacks with King into a special tree there. Maybe we should have done a super move. Yeah, doing the super move actually would have power drained this dude. But yeah, Raven gets hit there with the special 2 with her shield actually expiring. And if that did not happen, and if I did not lose darkness there, this would have been a phase 1 to phase 2 one shot. But nevertheless, this will be by far my best damage, phase 1 to phase 2. I mean, this used to be far more easy because Raven would remove grid resistance from phase 2. But back when that was the case, I was pretty crap at doing this fight. And I got better with time, but the fight got harder. So yeah, this is as far as my Confluent Sakumen plus 4-star Raven goes, and it's fine. Could have been better, could have been a one-shot. Now moving on to Soul Raids, and keep in mind this is a very, very optimal fight for Confluent Sakumen because Raiden is combo interruptible, has no damage caps, so it means we're gonna get the full damage out of our special tree. And at the same time, it's not gonna do that much, it's not gonna be that annoying after we get him to a corner. We have the level 6... God Killer on Dr. Fate, and level 4 Prometheum Sword on Red Hood for the passive stats. I'm using Red Hood instead of Shazam, because at this point with so much attack from the artifacts that I have, it's gonna be far more impactful for me to have 30 more seconds of the fight than to have slightly more attack, because keep in mind, Shazam gives you a percentage of your base attack, it doesn't give you a percentage of your total attack, so that's gonna be somewhere around 3k attack we're getting from Shazam, and I think it's more impactful to have the 30 seconds. Yeah, messed up there, got hit a bit, but now jump attack into a special 2, we wanna get at full stacks as soon as possible. And that pretty much stands for using Gold Blades as well. Like, I've seen a lot of gameplays from people who are sending them for help. They do two things very wrong. And some of them don't have all blades and they don't feel like they need to tag in and out if they don't have all blades. You should still do that because that allows you to power generate heavily. So a lot of people don't tag King in and out that much and just sit there until they have energy for special tree and only do that for the most part. You should do special, like, look, there's no... Some people said, oh, you should do 2 special 2s, you should do 2 special trees. There is no specific amount of special 2s or special trees you should do at the start of the fight. That thing doesn't exist. You should tag your Confluent Sakumen in. If you have energy for a special 2, you do a special 2. If you have energy for a special 3, you do a special 3, and after you do a special, tag him out to generate more power. It doesn't matter which one you do, and until you get to full stacks. If somehow, though it's not gonna be the case, but if somehow you're only able to do special 2s until you get to full stacks, you only do that and you don't do special trees, because the goal here is to get to full stacks as soon as possible, regardless of if you're using Beta Club or All Blades, in order to get the maximum damage output. Red Hood in there doing the super move, also tanking the super move, but that was not that relevant. Got 1.7 mil dot damage, and as you can see, it's only 1.3 on the normal swipe attacks, so that is why I'm using jump attacks to reset the dot, and that was a little bit of a mistake there. Didn't even want to tag Red Hood, just have tagged in Dr. Fate there. King back in there, and do a jump attack into a special tree. Dr. Fate back in, gonna combo interrupt there. King back in there into a swipe actually. And then jump attack into a special tree. But I'm gonna sit here actually because that jump attack yielded a low value and we're not gonna sit with that. And it's 1.6.4 right now when I don't hit a lethal, I think, or when the dot doesn't hit a lethal. And 100k more when it's a lethal on the dot. It's something that I'll gladly take over a few more, over 3 more attack rolls, because those are just 290 each, and as I said, attack is not that impactful in Soul Raids when you get a high enough level of artifacts. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it for this one. And again, this was heavily optimal for King. He might deal far less damage in other fights when the health is lower or the enemy is not combo interruptible. And thanks so much for watching. Again, check the build guide in the description, the pinned comment, and don't try to follow this. It will be far less optimal. And I'll see you all in the next one. Like the video if you did, dislike it if it isn't. Goodbye!
This is the future.